Good morning. Today is Wednesday, January 15th. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. Clear skies continue today with plenty of sunshine. Highs will reach the mid to upper 50s. Coming up, we'll hear about how after her death, a North Texas woman's body ended up at UNT's medical school instead of with her family. That's after today's news. On their first day back in session, the Texas House of Representatives chose Lubbock Republican Dustin Burrows as their new Speaker of the House. Burrows won despite not being the GOP's pick for the job. Time will tell if the party division causes issues for Burrows as he takes control of the House. Two people were arrested at yesterday's Tarrant County Commissioners Court meeting. There were multiple confrontations between law enforcement and members of the public who showed up to talk about deaths in the county jail, particularly the death of Mason Yancey. His cause of death has not been released, but the sheriff's office says he suffered a medical emergency. After 21-year-old migrant Aramar Atiriago Villegas was killed in a Dallas road rage incident, her body was donated to UNT's medical school without her family's consent. There it was dismembered and sold for research. NBC's Mike Hixenbaugh joined the Texas Standard's David Brown to talk about the case.
Aramar's family is one of several families who found what happened to the bodies of loved ones as the result of your reporting. But first, I want to go to the facts of Aramar's case. How did her body end up at the medical school after she was killed?
Her body ended up at the medical school because of contracts that Dallas County had entered into with the University of North Texas. Across the country, when someone dies and there isn't family who's immediately able to be reached, the bodies are deemed unclaimed, and local officials have to figure out what to do with them. They either will cremate them or hold on to them or bury them in paupers' graves. In the case of Dallas and Tarrant counties, they automatically gave them to the medical school for student training and research. And in the case of Aramar, like we found in several other cases, what went wrong was there was family who was reachable. Her mother in Venezuela had been trying to, from afar, figure out how to repatriate her body. But without ever speaking directly to her, Dallas County deemed Aramar's body to be unclaimed and sent it to the medical school.
You spoke with Aramar's family, her mother?
Yeah, I teamed up with a colleague at Telemundo named Ana Hilmara Vilches, and because the family only speaks Spanish, she handled the interviews, and she spoke extensively with Aramar's mother and her siblings in Venezuela, and they were devastated. They were already devastated because her daughter was killed in a foreign country, and she was far away. But then to learn from our reporting that after she died, that her body was sold off, not just given to the medical school, but then leased out to for-profit companies, and that she would never be able to reclaim her daughter's remains. It really devastated her.
What is really striking is you report that there are dollar figures that are assigned to different body parts. $900 for a torso, $703 for her legs. It's how common is this trade in body parts?
This is very common. Human specimens, bodies and body parts are needed to train medical students. They're needed to train doctors on new surgical techniques or to test out new medical devices. What people don't realize is that when they donate their body to science, what they're really doing is providing their body to a system that treats those bodies and body parts as commodities. And so, yeah, there's dollar figures that are assigned to the parts. And what's unusual in this case is that the University of North Texas, one, was taking unclaimed bodies, meaning bodies for whom they had no consent. Nobody donated. It was just decided by government officials. And two, we haven't found other instances where a government, state medical school was getting involved in the body trade itself.
Who has been profiting from this? The university, doctors?
Well, the University of North Texas really grew what was called the BioSkills Lab, which is this lab where outside groups could pay literally tens of thousands of dollars to rent space and access to bodies and body parts, to train physicians, to do research, to practice different procedures. And so this was seen as a new revenue stream.
I take it this is all legal?
It is all legal. However, following our reporting, Texas Senator Tam Parker, a Republican in North Texas, has pledged to introduce legislation this session banning the use of unclaimed bodies without consent in any way.
That was NBC's Mike Hixenbaugh speaking with the Texas Standard's David Brown. The Mavericks lost to the Denver Nuggets at home last night. The Mavs saw the return of one of their injured stars, with Kyrie Irving playing for the first time in 5 games, but he was only able to score 11 points in 30 minutes played as Dallas lost big 118-99. With the Mavs struggling, they are certainly glad to have Irving back and hope that Luka Doncic is not that far behind, but it may be 2 steps forward, 1 step back on the injury front, as young breakout center Derek Lively II left last night's game early with an ankle sprain. Tonight they play the New Orleans Pelicans. St. John's Episcopal Church in Dallas hosts its annual silent movie night on Sunday with a screening of Buster Keaton's comedy, The Cameraman. An organist accompanies the 1928 film, which is thought to be one of Keaton's greatest works, with the National Film Registry naming it one of the most culturally significant films of the 20th century. For more information and other fun things to do, visit kera.org/calendar. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. This show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. There you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter, written by our colleague Catherine Hobbs. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.